What's up, everybody? This is Kenny with Texas Steel, back with another video. I got Santiago here, and we're going to walk through some techniques for welding with flux-cored. So as you see right here, we have some test coupons made up. This is how we set up our plates whenever we do our welder testing. And you can test in multiple positions. Today we're going to talk about welding in the horizontal and the vertical positions with flux-cored. So Santiago, when welding in the flat position, what are some tips or techniques or something you need to watch out for if you're welding?
You always got to make sure that your temperature that you're running is hot but not too hot. So to me, if you put it at 22.5 to do any type of root, that's the perfect. Once you do that, after that you can pump it all the way to 26. And whenever you're using the wire, try not to use it straight down because it's going to pass through. So what you want to do is just go either circles or side to side. But with the low temperature, all you have to do is just put it there on one side and it should be melting to both sides there.
And just drag it?
Yeah, and drag it.
What would be a way if you, let's just say you strike an arc, how can you tell if it's too hot?
All the time. I always tell the welders, and especially them, to tell the welding machine, because not every machine works the same. So always test it on a little plate and then go from there. Once you said, hey, this is the temperature that I can run either overhead or vertical, any way you can imagine, then just start doing what you're doing.
So watching your puddle, right?
Yes.
Like, what are some indications that it is too hot, that you're melting too much, too much melting?
Well, as soon as you start melting, it's going to go down. And when you work in a company that they don't tolerate none of that, as soon as they see melting down, they're going to tell you, grab your stuff and go home.
Yeah, so it's important.
Yeah, always test.
What would be some indications that you're too cold?
You will see it like popping a lot. Yeah. It pops. So let's start throwing a lot of sparks. Then you can say that it's too cold. And especially that it's not going to penetrate the way you want it. So let's say even though you throw your pass and it's going to be okay, whenever they break it, it's going to crack. And you don't want that.
Yeah, so too cold will, cause cracking. You'll get a lot more trash in your weld. So there's a fine line there between being too hot and too cold. And one thing I've learned in being around this, I'm no welder by trade by no means, but you can hear it, the sound, if the machine is set right. Just the sound of the weld being laid, you can hear it if it's correct or incorrect. Like if it's too cold, like he said, you'll hear popping, and you'll see a lot of slag and everything around the weld. So really the sound, you can just listen for the sound a lot of times and know if it's too hot, too cold, or set at the right temperature and voltage. So, all right, so in the vertical position,
Yes.
What are some techniques for welding vertically?
Okay, like right here, I always tell them, look, you want a good penetration, do a downhill. Mm-hmm. Do a baby downhill, and then clean it up, and then go uphill. And then it's gonna get you a full penetration, and it's gonna look good on the back. That way, because you can still go straight up, but on that, you have to be like pretty good at it. But I'll say faster, do it downhill. Baby downhill, and then go uphill. And it's gonna go 100%.
So on your root pass on a vertical weld downhill, and then whenever you fill it up and cap it off, we're gonna weld in the uphill direction. Mm-hmm. All right, perfect. All right, well, we are about to get to watch him in action welding these plates together.
temperature, especially in the thickness of the material right now. But once it's 3/4, I use my 26. It's a little bit hot, but to me it works.
26 volts.
Yeah, 26 volts. And it's a little bit hot, but so far when I do it, it comes perfect.
And on your root, how many volts are you running?
Right now I'm using 22.5, and like I said, whenever we do the material, most of the time you don't have no gas on it, so it'll be plate with plate, and all you have to do is just clean it a little bit, and then just throw your pass, and it should come good.